Welcome back. Welcome back. The boys are all here talking about the trades that have been happening, specifically the Chris Paul to Golden State trade. Uh, we are definitely on different sides of how the trade is going to work out in the end, based on what we've seen from obviously the Warriors and Chris Paul and just how we think Chris Paul is going to be used. But I think it was definitely one that not a lot of people were expecting, and I'm curious to see what you guys have to say. So Finn, let's go to you first.
So I know what you think I'm going to say. Obviously, you think I'm going to say if you want your team to get better and still lose, pick up Chris Paul. It's my signature line. In this circumstance, I think Steph Curry playing two guard is one of the hardest things I've ever heard. I don't know if that's what they're going to end up doing. I don't know if they're going to start like that. But you're telling me, like, once I really sat down and thought about it, probably the best off-ball player of all time, coming off all those screens, with a savvy vet like CP, who's then not going to have to score as much and just distribute the ball to Steph and Clay. And that means Steph can play off Clay, and they can do their off-ball stuff where they do those, like, wraparound screens and those handoffs and stuff. I think it's a phenomenal fit. I was hating on it at first. I was shitting on it to everybody I know until I really sat down and thought about it. If they were looking for just to put those minutes together that Steph's off the court, don't love it.
Like, I think Chris Paul has to play more than 20 minutes a game.
Right. So if they're looking to do it to, like, fill that void on the bench, don't love it. But starting to think about the prospect of Steph running off 50 screens to a Chris Paul,
It's definitely
I didn't really think about that, though, Matt, off rip, to be honest with you. Like, I was just immediately going into my Chris Paul shitting mode.
Yeah. My first thought when it happened was, one, what the fuck? Two, I thought instantly that Chris Paul was going to start for some reason, which I don't think is going to happen.
Yeah, I think he's not as of now.
I think he's going to come off the bench, and I think he's going to play similar to, if not a little bit less than Jordan Poole minutes from what we've seen. And I also think that it's going to be interesting to see if Draymond stays or not. If Draymond no, he's opted out. He's technically a free agent right now.
Oh, when did he opt out?
A few weeks ago. Or a week ago, something like that. But
I feel like the Jordan Poole leaving was a sign that he was staying.
Yeah, but I don't know if Golden State...
He opted out or Jordan Poole was on the move.
Yeah,
before
this trade.
That's what I'm saying.
Draymond opted out before this.
I think he's going to stay.
I think he might, but...
I just saw something that said if Dame stays, he wants Draymond and Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I thought that the trade is going to be... It's kind of interesting to see how Golden State uses him come playoff time. Because I wasn't really thinking regular season. I think Golden State will win, say, 48-plus games around there, similar to what they did last year, if not a little more. And then come playoff time, we saw Steph being the primary ball handler opposed to running around those screens and getting a pick and roll and that stuff.
He was taking a beating.
Being able to put Chris Paul in that pick and roll is, one, what Chris Paul does best. Two, it also allows Steph to be off the ball more and be comfortable having a point guard to distribute, which is Draymond's a great distributor, don't get me wrong, but he can't run a pick and roll like Chris Paul.
The Warriors don't run pick and rolls in the playoffs.
They do.
Not really.
They did versus the Lakers. They had to.
But not. Yeah, I know, but it was out of the ordinary for them.
I know, but I'm saying they're going to have to at some point.
So that's what I'm saying. I think this is a good fit because they need to start running pick and rolls, and it seemed like they were alienated when they were going for that.
Yeah. Slim, what do you got on this?
I'm excited. I think if you get rid of Jordan Poole and end up getting rid of Draymond, I think that allows your team to kind of breathe, have a refresher. But the fact that Jordan Poole is gone, Draymond could decide to stay regardless of his relationship with Chris Paul. I heard that he doesn't really get along with him. But I think that Golden State has a young core. I love Kuminga. I love Ty Jerome, Anthony Lamb. I love to see DiVincenzo do his thing. And I think that regardless of how much Chris Paul is a part of the minutes, I think he'll get about like 25 maybe. And even if he comes off the bench, I'd love to see him in the pick and roll with Kuminga, with the guys coming off the bench, or even if he just so happens to play with the starters, him, you got Wig, and I think having Andrew Wiggins back like 100%, you'll be able to build a healthy chemistry that can get you 48 games, like you said. So I believe in him, and I think it's a good move.
You want to make our official this or that predictions right now if Draymond will wear a Warriors jersey next year?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think he 100,000% will.
Slim?
50-50.
I'm leaning no. I think he's going to go somewhere else, and someone's going to, like a mid-tier, like kind of needs an extra boost contender, wants to pay him like 3 years, 25 per or something like that.
Dude, that Warriors team falls apart without him.
I know, but
They won't let, do they have any power of him walking right now?
Like, can they hold him for some reason? No.
In any way? No. Okay.
Like, if he wants to go, he can go.
He won't go.
I want to say he leaves just because I don't you don't really. I guess if you're not going to get re-signed, if you're going to get re-signed to a long-term deal, then you opt out and re-sign. But I just don't know if he's going to get $28 million again for over the course of multiple years. That's a lot of money for a player that's getting older. I think that's why I'm thinking he goes somewhere else and gets like a ton of money, kind of like how Tony Parker did late in his career with the Hornets. I think he's going to go and say maybe I don't think he'll go to LA, but if he goes to LA, they'll give him like 3 years, say 60 million. He gets 20 per. I think Golden State could definitely shell that out, but I think if he wants to leave, he's going to leave, and I don't think money's really going to be a factor.
He don't want to fucking leave, I don't think.
I don't think he does. I don't know. I think it'd be nice to see him. Like, I think Portland could just give him a ton of money and he'll go there or something like that.
Yeah, but would he even really help?
No. Like, yes and no. I think
That's what I mean. Like, it's kind of like
you could implement some stuff that he did with Steph.
All right, are we gonna fucking talk about how sick Jordan Poole is looking a Wizards jersey or what?
Yeah, we're getting there.
Hold on. Would you Draymond Kyle Anderson?
What?
Would you trade Draymond for Kyle Anderson?
Yeah.
No. Jersey tough, slow-mo, but no.
Tripping.
You think Kyle Anderson's a better basketball player right now than Draymond Green?
I'm just saying, if you're looking for an option, I can't think of anybody who is
to replace Draymond
to fit with the scheme
in Golden State. You're saying?
Yes.
I think he could do it.
I don't hate that. It's a little bit random.
I think like a John Collins would have been really good at Golden State.
Depends how hard he plays.
I think Steve Kerr would demand
They got rid of Wiseman. They don't want Collins.
But I think Collins...
He's James Wiseman Jr., bro.
No, but John Collins can stretch the floor. He's a bigger body.
He's scary. I don't want to say that because I love John Collins. And I'm not mad at him about this trade. I've just spoken about how the organization and the coaching staff put the pressure on the team for Trey to execute every single time. John Collins was the most vocal leader that they had that really uplifted the guys and held it together as a community and as a family. But when you have so much turmoil, especially with the narratives that Trey Young and the rest of the team have to deal with because they play with him, it's a lot on those players. And I think that's why John Collins, like I said, he shows signs of aggressiveness, on defense. Offense, can do everything that he does. And I made a video earlier talking about, I just think that he can still reach his potential. It would just need to be in another city and another culture so that he can have that fresh air.
But I was thinking it would be kind of like Andrew Wiggins going to Golden State kind of thing, where Andrew Wiggins was kind of like no one really wanted him anymore. Like, you would have taken him, but like you weren't going to make a move for him. Golden State did, and look at him now.
Yeah.
He was an all-star starter last year.
Yeah, and that's what I love.
2 years ago.
I love John in Utah. I'm glad he got traded to Utah, and then now that
I think he's a good fit there too.
Yeah, and when you mentioned the veteran presence, grabbing Rudy, I think like I didn't think about that earlier, but
they got no one in the locker room. Think about it.
But if Draymond were to go anywhere, I can't see anybody that is similar in physique, that can take up the space on the floor in a way that Draymond does to also be able to facilitate for the curl.
There's not a guy.
There's no one.
I think
But
you
that's
would
what
need to sign another 4 to be a defensive anchor, and then you would need Chris Paul to be the one. I think you have Chris Paul pick up Draymond's slack offensively, and then you'd take someone defensively to pick up his slack, which is hard to do. Don't get me wrong.
The Warriors don't just sign anybody. Like, you have to be a real specific cut cloth.
For sure.
I think
it's hard for them to find a fit in a hurry.
No, I don't think they'll it'll definitely be tough, but I'm saying if Draymond does leave, it'll be something like that.
Don't worry, he's not leaving.
But I think let's talk about the other end of this trade, the Wizards. I think they've made good moves this offseason.
Oh my bro.
I think it's about time they blew it up. We've talked about on this program how there's teams that need to blow it up, and they're one of them, and they did. Credit to them. But you got Jordan Poole. I think
huge.
I think it's a great trade for them. I think you're to a guy that you're probably going to cut to getting Jordan Poole. I mean, you take that all day. I'm not the biggest Jordan Poole fan in the world, but he's a guy that's, one, going to put butts in seats. 2, he's a guy that you can semi-build around. I think he can be if you draft someone well. I think they'll have a top 5 pick next year in the following draft, a year from like 2 days ago, basically. But I think
he might average 30.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to be a piece that you can go, and as he matures and gets older, he'll be a smarter basketball player than he is right now, which is what Golden State couldn't really afford, and that's why they brought in a Chris Paul. But I think if you go and have Jordan Poole, you hit on a draft pick in the next 2 years, and Jordan Poole, say 26-7 at this time, you have a player who's 22 or 23, then you start to see the come up to a lot of these, like similar to these young teams that are getting better now. I think you see something with that, and I think that's a first kind of move to getting better. You get a Tyus Jones from Boston, which we're going to talk about in a minute, but check out that video after this. But I think those simple moves, getting young, good ascending players, and then you're gonna be bad. You're gonna be bad, but so you're gonna get a good draft pick, and you got to hit on it. You think the Wizards are gonna be good? All right, let's hear it. No, let's hear a number. I'm also pissed we can't use this Pistons video because holy Lord. But go
22.
ahead. 28, I'd say, wins. How many wins?
Kuz stays. I know Kuz wants to go.
Gone. He's gone.
I wanted Collins for Kuz. Because we was paying John Collins, no cap. But if Kuz were to stay, just sit back. Tyus Jones.
I like Tyus Jones a lot, but
Jordan Poole at the 2. And if you had Kuz is a bucket. They could make something out of there, and Kuz could want to be like, okay, I know Jordan Poole going.
I need a number.
We're waiting for the number. 22.
31.
That's very low, but I don't think they'll be that bad.
31.
Okay, you made it seem like they were going to be nice. 31's not nice.
31 is pretty nice.
Can we just acknowledge for a second? We could honestly do a whole draft about this another day. It takes a very specific looking player to look sick in a Wizards uniform. Jordan Poole is going to look so hard in a Wizards uniform.
Yeah, he will. I think it's interesting. I'm very, very.
You know what I'm talking about, Slim?
No, pause that.
What do you mean?
Anyways,
it's pause.
No, it's like the play style of those kind of flashy dudes like Gilbert Arenas or like Nick Young, who had you just think
John
about
Wall back in the day.
John Wall back in the day, like you just think about the shiny uniform for the Wizards, like that's just Jordan Poole.
Yeah,
I feel like Jordan. I feel like Jordan Poole would be even better in Toronto. Just in regards to that matter, I think he'd fit better in like a Toronto kind of.
Dude, if I had to close my eyes and picture him in any jersey, it's a Wizards jersey.
Yeah, it's like, especially now with everyone gone, it's like the most Jordan Poole team ever.
But like, think about him in the jersey. Like, it'll make sense when you see it.
But yeah, I mean, I like the trade. I like the trade more for the Wizards than I do Golden State, but I like it for both sides more than I think a lot of the public is kind of saying. But for like a pure basketball thing, I'm excited to see how Golden State adjusts their offense a little bit and works in a few more pick and rolls, or
they need to
works in a few more sets for CP and stuff like that. Because I don't think he's going to have to score 18 a game anymore. He'll get his 11 and 10 assists.
Yeah, 8 and 10.
But I'm definitely curious to see where that goes. But thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Check back for more videos. If you want to see stuff about the draft, go check those videos out. Hornets and Blazers are live. Rockets and Pistons.
We're doing it big right now, pumping this shit out.